The crimson advertisement hologram flickered above the spaceport terminal, its predatory grin practically radiating menace. Vorthok Prime, the ultimate predator experience. No species has ever survived our full immersion hunt. Prove your worth or die trying. Marcus Chen adjusted his worn backpack and squinted at the display. After 3 months of peaceful botanical surveys across the outer rim, he was looking for something different, something that might actually get his adrenaline pumping again. "You're not seriously considering that death trap," muttered Kexhai, his Zentaurian travel companion. The blue-skinned alien's tendrils twitched nervously as she read the fine print. 47 species have attempted their challenge. 0 survivors. Marcus shrugged. Sounds like they haven't met the right tourist yet. The shuttle to Vorthok Prime was cramped and filled with the nervous energy of beings who might not return. Marcus found himself squeezed between a heavily armored Krellian warrior and a pack of young Dylarian nobles seeking glory. None of them would meet his eyes. Humans had developed something of a reputation in the galaxy. The planet below was a masterwork of engineered terror. Massive predators roamed continents designed to challenge every evolutionary advantage known to galactic civilization. Acid-spitting plants, gravity wells that could crush exoskeletons, and atmospheric pressure that would liquefy most beings. Welcome to Vorthok Prime. The station commander was a massive creature with too many teeth and claws that could rend steel. "I am Huntmaster Vexthul. You have each paid handsomely for the privilege of proving your species' worth." The alien's eyes lingered on Marcus. "Ah, a human. How quaint. Your kind's reputation for stubborn stupidity precedes you." Marcus smiled politely. "Looking forward to the tour?" Vexthul's laugh was like grinding metal. "There are no tours here, human. Only survival or consumption. You will be dropped individually into our most challenging environment, the Crimson Wastes. Survive 72 hours, and you earn the right to leave. Fail." The creature's claws clicked ominously. The drop pod slammed into the rust-colored sand with bone-jarring force. Marcus rolled out, quickly taking stock of his surroundings. The landscape was a nightmare of jagged rocks, boiling geysers, and the distant roars of things that definitely wanted to eat him. His emergency beacon showed he had basic rations for 3 days and a simple survival kit. No weapons. That would make it too easy, according to Vorthok's twisted rules. The first predator found him within an hour. The razor-spined stalker was 12 feet of evolved killing machine, with mandibles that could snap a starship hull and reflexes faster than a neural implant. It had apparently never encountered prey that didn't run screaming. Marcus stood perfectly, still as the creature circled him, its compound eyes analyzing this strange new morsel. When it finally lunged, he stepped aside with economical precision, grabbed a handful of the loose sand and flung it directly into the beast's sensory organs. While the stalker thrashed blindly, Marcus calmly picked up a sharp rock and waited. Patience, his grandfather had always said, was humanity's greatest weapon. When the creature's movements became predictable in its disorientation, Marcus struck. One precise blow to the nerve cluster behind its primary head, and the stalker dropped, like a stone. "Thanks for the warning about the weak spot," Marcus said to its corpse, remembering the anatomical briefing he'd downloaded during the shuttle ride. "Really should have mentioned that in your promotional materials." By the end of day 1, Marcus had survived encounters with acid wasps, a tunnel worm the size of a subway car, and something the locals called a bone ripper that turned out to be surprisingly susceptible to having its own shed spikes jammed into its joints. He'd also discovered that several of the planet's deadly plants were actually quite nutritious if you knew which parts to avoid. His xenobotany degree was finally paying off in unexpected ways. The Vorthok monitoring team was growing increasingly agitated. "How is it still alive?" snarled Vexthul, watching the human casually roast what appeared to be a leg from something that had tried to eat him. "The bone ripper should have liquefied its skeleton." "The human appears to be learning, Huntmaster," reported a nervous technician. "It studies each predator's attack patterns and adapts accordingly." "Impossible. No species learns that quickly." "Huntmaster, Perhaps we should review the humans' file again. Day 2 brought new challenges. The Vorthak had clearly decided to escalate, releasing their apex predator, a genetically modified nightmare that combined the worst traits of every successful hunter in their collection. Marcus took one look at the approaching shadow maw and did something no previous challenger had attempted. He climbed. The rocky spires weren't just decoration, he'd realized. They were part of an ancient geological formation with fascinating structural properties. More importantly, they offered tactical advantages that ground-level fighting couldn't provide. The shadow maw could leap, but it couldn't fly. Its massive claws were perfect for ground combat, but terrible for precise climbing, and its highly tuned auditory system, designed to track heartbeats across vast distances, became a liability when Marcus started dropping rocks to create acoustic confusion. "This is humiliating," Vexthul growled, watching his prize predator, being systematically outmaneuvered by what appeared to be an oversized primate with a backpack. "Release the swarm." "Huntmaster, the swarm isn't ready for—" "Release it." The needle swarm consisted of 10,000 insect-sized hunters, each carrying enough venom to paralyze a Krellian battleship. They moved as one perfect organism, designed to overwhelm through sheer numbers and coordinated assault. Marcus watched them approach like a living black cloud and smiled. He'd been saving his best trick for last. The smoke grenades in his survival kit weren't meant for combat. They were standard rescue beacons designed to create visible signals for search teams. But Marcus had spent his morning collecting certain spores from the local fungi, spores that had some very interesting combustion properties when mixed with standard smoke compounds. The modified beacon didn't just create smoke. It created a thick, choking cloud that sent the needle swarm into complete disarray. Their hive mind, dependent on pheromone communication, collapsed into chaos as individual insects fled in random directions. "Impossible," whispered Vexthul. "Actually," came a cheerful voice behind him, "it's just basic chemistry." The Huntmaster spun around to find Marcus standing calmly in the control room, still covered in dust and alien blood but otherwise unharmed. "How did you— the security systems—" "Oh, those?" Marcus gestured dismissively. "Took me about an hour to trace the monitoring signals back to their source. Your impenetrable fortress has the same basic design flaws as most military installations. You're so focused on keeping things out that you forget to secure what's already inside." He held up a small device. "Emergency teleportation beacon. Standard issue for human tourists visiting dangerous worlds. Funny thing about human safety regulations, we tend to plan for the worst-case scenario." Vexthul's claws were shaking. "This is impossible. No species can adapt this quickly. No species can—" "Learn," Marcus finished. "See, that's where you made your mistake. You designed this place to break species through their limitations. But humans, we don't really do limitations. We do problems that need solving." He moved toward the exit, then paused. "Oh, and about that no survivors statistic? You might want to update your advertising. Also, your razor spine stalkers are actually pretty tasty if you cook them right. Might want to consider adding a restaurant." The monitoring room fell silent except for the soft hum of electronics and the distant, confused roaring of very frustrated predators. What are we supposed to do now?" whispered a technician. Vexthul stared at the empty doorway, his worldview crumbling like ancient stone. "I suppose," he said slowly, "we update our brochures." 3 weeks later, Vorthak Prime, now with human-approved safety standards, became the most popular extreme tourism destination in the sector. Marcus Chen received a lifetime pass and a small consulting fee for his valuable feedback on the customer experience. He never used the pass. By then, he'd heard about a black hole research station that claimed their gravitational anomalies were completely impossible to escape from. It sounded like fun.